Right, what day are we on now? Day 15, I think, could be, of building a self-sufficient brand. Now, I say self-sufficient brand. Originally, I centered on the financial side, which is a core aspect, right? Finances are our biggest constraint in life. But I want it to be about more than that. I want a vision. I want an ethos, which is self-sufficiency, which obviously we have from the finance side in cash flow generating assets, income generating assets. But not only that, I also want energy. I'm going into that sort of remit in that there's going to be 30 to 50%, about 35, 33% solar power by 2050. That source is Hamish McRae, The World in 2050, a book I read. And that's an area I want to go in. Now, my background's chemical engineering, but we've also, in my degree, I'd done stuff like carbon capture and storage. We had a sustainability module, so I know that area. And it also ties in, it may seem separate, but if you're sourcing your energy from solar panels, then of course you can store it in a battery or you can sell it to the grid, so it ties into finances. The world's heating up, so we've got more. Well, yeah, it's a perfect use case, isn't it? If the world's heating up, more sunlight, more UV, more solar rays, then more energy. Now, that's the secondary avenue. So we're going to center on financial self-sufficiency, but then energy is a secondary principle that we're going to have. And the third, another secondary one, you could call it the third, is food. So, of course, in the assets we're doing at the moment, they are unattended retail, and that retail item is food and drink, right? Now, not only that, I also want homegrown produce, not necessarily in the vending machines, right? Not necessarily unattended retail, but as a lifestyle choice, I want people to be incentivized, and I also want to help with our contributory fund, which accumulates from the usage of the vending machines, to contribute to projects that are organic farming, that are sustainable farming, that are contributing to allotments, urban allotments. You can have gardens everywhere. You can grow plants on the rooftops. You know what I mean? And integrating this rather than integrating it into urban areas and also rural areas, but being less reliant on shop bought produce, right? So encouraging farmers markets, they're great. Greengrocers, yeah, brilliant. Things that are not covered in pesticides and all that shite, right? Excuse the light in here. It's a beautiful day, I'm not gonna lie. This is why I'm out on a walk. Also why I'm shooting a video outdoors. I thought we'd change the format. I seen a video a while back and someone was saying about, in order to establish your style and what works in terms of content creation, throw shit at the wall. And that's what I'm doing. I'm throwing shit at the wall, different formats, trying different things, different environments, and see what sticks, he said, which essentially means, look at all this. We've got all the data, we've got numbers, we've got metrics. See what works. What do you like? You tell me in the comments, what formats do you like? And that's what we'll run with. Now, I was out last night, went to a mate's house, and we touched on something that is going to help. If you saw my last video, you'd seen I'm talking about shiny object syndrome, where you chase the next things, which is obviously in part because I need something to sustain myself and to be able to contribute to people and to things I need. So I need something alongside what I'm doing with Harvest. Now, that's why I'm looking at other opportunities and I'm not just dialing in. I'd love to just dial in on this, but it'll take time to grow, right? Now, one thing that I discussed yesterday, my mate recommended, and as something he'd seen online, and also something I'd done a little prior research, right? So I'd kind of shortlisted a few ideas, and this was one of them. So obviously we've both established it as something that's a good idea. Now this is, I was watching it wasn't Emma Green, it was Cody Sanchez, I think that's her name, yeah, a video, and she was saying how the best opportunities arise when you're out and talking to people. Now, I wouldn't normally talk about these things with my mates too often, but of course, I'm a hustler. I like opportunities, and I value my mates' insights. So what it is it's AI phone systems. Now, I want to hop on this. I spend a lot of time overthinking and overanalyzing, comparing different ideas. Now this, I've established a good idea, and it's also a time-limited idea. There's only so long that these opportunities get absorbed and other people are doing them. They get saturated, or it's just already established. 10 years from now, AI will be so integrated into our life that you've either fallen behind or you played the game. So I want to get on this early. I want to hop on. I don't want to overthink. I want to set it up, which will be great. I want to learn the technical side so I can help people. I want to provide customer support. I've got a history of working with customer relations, customer complaints, customer handling. So I want to be the customer success. I also want to be the technical advisory and technical implementation. And then it's just selling these systems, and there'll be a rolling contract. So that's what's going to help funnel that money into the assets, funnel that money into marketing of Harvest franchise, and that's how one feeds the other. So all these things feed each other. So this work I'd be doing alongside with myself will feed into Harvest finance systems, Harvest assets, which feeds into, once I've got my 4 or 5 direct assets, I set up the franchise, which is people paying monthly to have the complexities literally channeled into, well, I'll be sorting the logistics and the infrastructure, and the distribution, and it'll simply be they restock. And of course, that later down the line is when energy and food comes into play. That's the vision. And then as a tertiary layer is skills, information, and health. Why skills? Well, when AGI comes along and displaces us all, we need to be able to be more self-sufficient in that area, right? Whether it's upskilling, whether it's trades are going to be so valuable. I've got a construction background. I know I can do a little bit of plastering. I can do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, snagging, things like that. All the more, if AI has gone from being a narrow function to a generalist, why should us humans not also do that, right? Because if it's displacing us, not only will we have less, if any, income, right? If it's taking our jobs and we end up on universal basic income or some bullshit like that, then learn to do things for yourself. Not only that, health, a lot of people talk about mental health, also physical health. These things tie in to having more time for yourself. You can do calisthenics, you can do yin yoga, known as the fountain of youth. People look younger anyway, but I feel like that's the lifestyle choices we make. Running, you got more time for yourself, less stress because you're not worried about finances because you've got income generating assets. Yeah, food, you're eating better nutrition, so organic food gives you more energy, more focus. And then information is just about controlling your inputs, okay? Not being algorithmically dictated. I watched a video on YouTube by Cole Hastings, and he was saying how we're getting these people who've literally been bred on the internet and are obsessed with lux maxing or manosphere or I don't know, all this bullshit that's literally just it's not. It takes a small juxtaposition, a small angle, and takes it into its extremity, doesn't it? That's exactly what it is. People running with an idea that's just not based on reality. And that's because online is the attention economy, right? Extreme sells, shock sells, and people have been raised on that, as all some people know, right? That's how the brain's been wired, right? So it's about curating your feed, having interest media, restoring from seeing random people on For You, okay, random stuff that's not relevant, and just reconnecting with a small, minimal group of people. You know, when we grew up, but evolutionarily, we in our tribes, we didn't have thousands and thousands of people that we followed and all these different interests and all. We didn't have all this. We just had, okay, hunter-gatherer, okay, or picking berries. That was our interest. And our communities were 50 to 250 people with elders of the tribe and people who are similar to us, very similar to us. It was about reconnecting with that information, and not only that, narrowing down minimalist information, right? Self-sufficient information, creating is exactly what I'm on about. But creating means being conscious of the information you intake. Now, I'm approaching where I'm living at the moment, so I'm gonna end this video. I appreciate your time. Hope you like the new format. If anyone sees this at any point, let me know down in the comments what you'd like to know, what you'd like to see next, and yeah, enjoy the sun.